No puedes jugar boxeo es presentado por SEYER, la marca que desde 1930 viste los puños de los campeones. Por The Aquino Destinations, destinos de ensueño.
Dear professor, dear trainer, sorry, it's always a pleasure to talk with you. And let me start with this. Do you believe that for Canelo is the most complicated and dangerous fight in his career until now?
Listen, if you want to sell a fight, then you could say yes. But the reality of it is, the most dangerous and difficult fight for any fighter is his next opponent.
I agree with you, but
that being said, because Canelo is G's next opponent, yes, he's the most dangerous, difficult fighter. But of his whole career, like I can't go back that far, but because he is a special one. That's one thing for sure. He's a special guy and a special talent. So we take nothing away from him.
Yeah, I got you. My point is that Canelo lost his last fight. Triple G is coming from a great victory in Japan. And we cannot forget Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali, Gotti, Ward, Juan Manuel Marquez Pacquiao. And I truly believe that Triple G is the nemesis of Canelo or the opposite. So that's why I can tell that if Canelo needs to have a perfect night in order to beat Triple G.
That's true. And Triple G need to have a perfect night to beat Canelo. Like, these guys are like, they're almost like brothers from two separate parts of the planet. And it's like they meeting head to head, and they both know what it takes to get under the other's skin. But they both, in order for one to win, one have to be 100% better than the other on that particular night. And each guy knows this. And with that, and even with that being said, and that is the goal. The goal is, the reason we in camp is to perfect everything we need to perfect, to be 100% on that particular night of the fight.
Yeah. When we talk about, like, let's say Fraser Ali or Gotti Ward, you mentioned like wars, truly wars. But when you like real boxing, you can't deny that Canelo Triple G 1 and 2, and now the third one is like a caviar. Sometimes we like tacos in Mexico, a lot of blood, blah blah blah. But this is caviar, at least for me.
Yeah, 100%. It's caviar for the whole sport. Every once in a while, not every generation, but yet, okay, every generation, you get certain fights that's just a pleasure for the whole sport. The whole sport is uplifted from certain fights. Like back in the 90s, in the late 90s, you had Tyson Holyfield.
Yeah.
That was truly caviar for the sport. Yeah. They needed those two titans to bump heads, because look how many hundreds of thousands of people signed up for boxing the next day after watching that fight. You know what I'm saying? And Triple G and Canelo is under the same concept. Look how many people is gonna be interested into the sport once these guys have this fight. You gotta understand that the guy Mike Tyson, his idol was Muhammad Ali, because he knew that someone stole his bike. He wanted to learn how to fight. He wanted to get into boxing. He ended up 1960. He wins a gold medal. And the Rumble in the Jungle did not just inspire Muhammad Ali. It didn't just inspire Mike Tyson. It inspired Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah.
Sugar Ray Leonard inspired Roy Jones. Look how many people these things inspired over the years. So big fights has always been an inspiration for the sport. And this big name fight is going to be another inspiration for the sport. That somebody go talk to you and I go be having a conversation 10 years from now. And some 14-year-old boy will say, I started boxing because I seen Triple G Canelo 3.
Definitely.
You know, it's amazing to me.
How is the feeling for Johnathon, for you especially, that generation after generation, they're going to talk about you, Triple G, Canelo. I mean, the work that you are going to do in the corner. How important it is for you. It puts pressure on you. It motivates you. How's the feeling?
I mean, the feeling is good. I have no, like, this is what I do. You know, that's how I see it. This is what I do. I've been doing big time boxing for a very long time.
Yeah.
I started my training career with the heavyweight champion of the world. So, and that's the highest, that's the ceiling. So if that's the ceiling, then, you know, everything falls under that. But this is an amazing opportunity for both fighters, and it's an amazing feeling for me. I love it. This is what my mentor, if you will, this is what the late great man Stewart always talked about, was big time boxing. Everything he did, he prepared us for big time boxing, and that's what it's all about. This is the big time. That's what it's all about. And this is the best place to perform, is at the high stakes, at the round table, at the high stakes, at big time boxing.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree. Let's pretend that you are not part of this great fight. Let's talk about the ingredients. Canelo is really pissed off, and Triple G, it looks like very focused. It's not just talking. Canelo is really pissed off. He mentioned again that he wants to knock him out. So, but let's pretend you're not part of this fight. Like an advisor, how difficult it is to handle when you are really pissed off, and in the other hand, Triple G, it looks like he's really focused again.
Well, outside looking in, as a fan of the sport,
yeah.
When I see Canelo, I don't see him as pissed off. And if he is pissed off, he's pissed off because he lost to Bivol. Ain't got nothing to do with Triple G. So if he's pissed off, if he's really pissed off, you know, but outside looking in, I honestly, knowing the sport the way I know the sport, I wouldn't pay no attention. I mean, he's looking for redemption in a lot of ways. He's trying to redeem himself to say, whatever happened to the Bivol, I'm still me. He's coming for redemption in a way of saying, I'm better than G, so I'm gonna come and show you. So a lot of things he's coming for redemption. Yeah. And the thing about it is, yes, he's dangerous the way he's coming in for that. But if G continues to be smart and stay focused, like his whole thing would be able to be successful on that night.
Definitely. And let me share this with you. Maybe you know this, but in Mexico, not only the Mexicans in Mexico, but the Mexicans here in USA as well, they are divided. Why? So many Mexicans are with Triple G. And I mean, of course, a lot of Mexicans are with Canelo. But do you understand that? Because I don't know if you share this with me, but boxing for me is like the pride of your country. You know what I mean? And
yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So how can you explain to me? Because I don't understand how many Mexicans are with Triple G.
Well, it's different for looking at it from my end, because I never come from a country where I goes to another country and fight and that whole country is behind me.
Yeah, right.
I don't come from that type of country, you know, but the Mexican countries, the El Salvador's countries, these Hispanic lands or countries, when you come from places like that, you know, and wherever you are, you assume you're supposed to be a part of whatever Mexican is fighting. But that's not necessarily always the case. People like who they like. And I think no matter where you're from, you could choose that's the beauty of boxing. You get to choose who you like in the corner. And you know, and just because you're Mexican and the Mexican fighting, you don't have to like the Mexican, you can like somebody else. And it's totally fine.
Yeah. You know, I hate to ask all the same things that everybody's asking you, but we cannot deny that we are like a month away from this huge fight. Could you share something that you didn't share with nobody, something anecdotic, something like, I mean, boxing is not only suffering, only, you know what I mean, drama. There is something funny that you can share, because in every single training camp, there's anecdotic stuff.
Something funny to share. I don't know. I gotta keep looking in camp. I don't. There's nothing. Only, you know, it's just a really deep focus for this particular camp.
Yeah,
so,
gotcha.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying everybody's walking around uptight. Everybody's relaxing. Everybody's still able to focus, but you know, nothing really strange has happened. Everything has been great.
But personally, you like to dance, you like to sing, you like to play ping pong, you like to read. We need to know about, because you're a big part of it.
For me personally,
yeah.
You know, I like music. You know, I like just like anybody else. I like music. I don't go out dancing, but I like, you know, I listen to music. If I had a small keyboard here with me, if I travel with a keyboard, I'll be playing the piano. You know, that'll be my pastime, to relax and everything like that. But you know, for me, I do everything I do. I do it for a reason, and everything I do, I see to it that is as easy as possible. My personality is really easy, and everything I do, I set up everything so it can be simple and easy. Because one thing that I've learned through all these different training camps, or all these different world champions, is that the more simple you keep things, the easier it is to continue success and continue to explain things to your fighters, with keeping everything simple.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And I like to music. I don't know, I'm not a good dancer as well, but let's do three more things, because it's really important to talk with you. Sometimes we didn't take the time with the trainers, and I think it's very important, because at the end, it's a legacy for you as well. I mean, you're not gonna fight September 17th night, but definitely you want to leave a legacy, right?
Yeah, 100%. This is the reason why I'm in my fighter's ear every time we're in the gym. I'm in his face talking to him, going over the same thing. Sometimes I go over the same thing over and over again, and I look at him, I say, gee, look, I know I told you this before, but I have to tell you this again, because this is like, I've been in boxing for a very long time.
Yeah.
Been part of a lot of world title fights, world title fights. So therefore, this is more so second nature to me, you know. So therefore, I learned to go over every single scenario that can possibly happen. Because once the bell rings, it is entirely too late to go over anything, you know. So it's no such thing as being over prepared. So that's why I keep having a conversation, keep going over certain things, so we could be perfectly prepared for everything that will happen on the night of the fight.
Definitely. Do you consider Canelo a truly Mexican warrior?
Yeah, of course. Who wouldn't? You know, like,
you know, that's the question, and I love your response. Some Mexicans say that it's not a true Mexican warrior. Come on.
Well, you got a lot of guys who don't like him because of his success, you know, and I don't deal with that type of situation. Like, if you're successful, you're successful.
Yeah.
You can't take that away from him. You know, this man worked his butt off to be successful in the sport of boxing. And that's something, like, for me, I take things personal when I hear people say certain things about fighters, because if you don't know how it feels to get in the ring and fight for your life, then you can't even comment about it.
Yeah.
You know, because you don't know that feeling. You don't know that world. That world is a completely different world. So we, especially obviously, we take our hats off to guys like Canelo. Why not? You know, he's a warrior. He's a true fighter. You know, the same as and this is why it's so big for him to fight Triple G. Triple G again, another true warrior in the sport. You know, and these two gladiators will collide, but at the end of the day, what they are, what they contributed to the sport is never going to be forgotten.
Yeah,
and that's the key and most important thing. They both contribute a lot to the sport. They both got a big fan base, and they both is helping the sport grow. What this fight is right here, this trilogy fight, this is just water on the sport of boxing, allowing it to grow. And the night of the fight is gonna be the sunshine, you know, and the sport will grow because of it. And that's the beauty of fights like this. The guys willing to put it all on the line is because of that right there.
Yeah, definitely. And regarding Triple G, I don't know if you remember this, and I'm laughing because I believe Abel started with this. Like we own with Triple G the real Mexican style, and I love your response because you define both fighters as a warriors. It's not about Mexican style. It's about the legacy that these guys gonna be remembered forever, right?
100%.
100%. Please define for me the Mexican fans, because this is important. You know what I mean? I truly believe that that Mexicans they pay for boxing in these years.
Yeah, of course.
How can you define the fans?
I went to school back in Detroit in Mexican Town.
Well, okay.
Yeah, it's a town, and we got a city called Mexican Town. A town called Mexican Town. Literally, that's the name of the town. I went to school in that town. So of course, like I grew up around nothing. I grew up around a lot of Hispanic and Mexican fighters. So I mean, they've always been a huge fan base of the sport. So it's been amazing.
Well, taking advance of this and two more questions for you. What is your Mexican favorite food?
Believe it or not, I got two. I'm gonna say two of them. Okay.
Okay.
My used to be favorite was a Mexican sandwich.
Wow.
Every lunch, when I was in from 7th and 8th grade and 9th, I used to go to this Mexican restaurant. I used to get a Mexican sandwich.
Nice.
Now, I don't know if it was something made up because I don't see it everywhere I went, you know. But this Mexican, it was like almost like 4 layers of a flat like burrito. Yeah, it's like, but it was a sandwich, and it was one of the best sandwiches you could have.
You know, the name is torta. That's the name of the Mexican sandwich.
Okay, that's the name of the Mexican sandwich. But that was my favorite.
Yeah, and
that
now
was my first favorite.
And
now I just like a really, really good, like a Southwest burrito.
Oh my God, that's great.
That would be if they put but the thing about it, what they have to do is before they roll it up, they have to put fries in there.
Yeah.
And they have to crunch up some chips and put it in there and then roll it up. And when I tell you I'm off to the sunset, you don't gotta bother me. You don't gotta worry about me for the rest of the day. Once I eat that, I'm done.
I agree.
And that's my favorite.
Well, finally, Johnathon, it's always a pleasure to talk with you. As an analyst, pretending that you are not involved, please finally describe this fight, Canelo Triple G3.
As an analyst not being involved, describe this fight. As an analyst describing this fight is almost describing 2 thunderbolts coming to the same city at the same time, hitting the same house. You can't help but to have a fire. You can't help but to have an explosion. And after the fire, after the explosion, Triple G will be standing with his hands raised in victory.
Okay, Johnathon, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. It was a nice conversation.
Thank you. Pleasure's mine.
And I'm going to invite you a Mexican torta someday.
Yes, please do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Si te gustó nuestro contenido, suscríbete a nuestro canal de YouTube. Y si no te gustó, también. No puedes jugar boxeo.